My name is Octave, and I did my policy paper on asthma. So, Massachusetts has one of the highest asthma rates in the whole country. It's a crisis. That's why I did my policy paper on it. So, actually, Massachusetts has the top three ranked cities for asthma, which is a great deal. And my policy is proposing a solution to this problem. So my audience is Massachusetts lawmakers. So my policy recommendations is that because we know asthma has so many triggers, first of all, one of the main triggers for asthma is smoke, and also dampness and other um, conditions related to poor housekeeping like roaches and things like that. And these are very common in many of these public housing. So most of these cases of asthma are in public housing. So that's why public housing is a good target for improving asthma rates in Massachusetts. So for a small state like Massachusetts to have the three top cities for asthma is a big deal in the country. So my policy recommendations is to increase the fine for people who smoke in public housing by 50%, and also to mandate random checkups in these public housing facilities. Right now, housing departments are only like required to check in these public housing just once a year. So people could smoke the entire year and could expect reasonably not to ever be caught, which is bad because it exposes other kids to secondhand smoke. So another policy change I'm recommending is that raise the standard of licensure for building inspectors so that they can recognize the hazards of smoke and mold in these public houses, because many times these inspectors focus more on the structural integrity of the building and forget these little things like leaks, but these are the things that cause asthma to flare up and cause a lot of emergency room visits. And these visits are expensive because they include the cost of ambulances and things like that, and the public ends up paying for these costs. So these are the pros and cons of my policy. Now I understand that this policy is expensive. Building new public housing is expensive, but I also understand that a lot of these public housings are really dilapidated, they're old, they need replacement, and something has to be done. So, of course, with these new housing facilities, we are going to have reduced levels of asthma for children, which is great. That will improve the days or increase the number of days that they go to school, because they'll have fewer sick days because of fewer triggers in their homes. They will also they'll have fewer symptomatic days as well. So the pros for this policy go beyond just for asthma, because if you have new housing developments in the area, you could improve the property value of that neighborhood, especially if the neighborhood is facing economic distress. So these construction projects could also create jobs. They generate income for people. They're a source of taxes, which is all good. And also, these new projects increase regional competitiveness, because businesses could reasonably expect to hire people who will be able to live in those regions because they can access cheap housing. But obviously, the major disadvantage is that the fact that this is an expensive project.